Alright, Jack and Rebecca. Let's do a quote for them. Whenever the kids were born, Jack was 36 and Rebecca was 30. Jack was doing planning and construction with Miguel. Estimated today, his salary would be around $92,154. Of course, his best friend's with Miguel, so he probably got some good bonuses, but we'll go with 92,154 for now. Rebecca was a singer and she stayed at home and was the best mom ever. So there's not much money involved in that, unfortunately. I'm assuming Jack had a work policy. I looked it up, and in Pittsburgh, most of the construction places and planning places have a work policy, one times the base pay. That's included in your benefits package. And most also have the optional three times your base pay. So that would have been 276. More than likely, Jack had both of those covered for a total amount of $368,616 in work coverage. So, what I found, it's another home that doesn't exist in the location in Pittsburgh. Believe it or not, it is in LA. But according to the interwebs, and it seems exceptionally low, today's value of the house would have been roughly, for the average house in that area is around $200,000. That's a really good deal. Jack was really good with tools and fixing stuff up, so maybe that's how he got the deal. So we'll say it's $200,000 for the house. They were single or they didn't have kids for a while. I think maybe 6 years after they were married or so. It was a good amount of time. So let's say they accumulated maybe 30,000 in debt, getting on their feet, getting the house set up, whatever it is. They would also want to pay for a funeral expense. Jack would definitely want some income replacements for Rebecca. We'll do the after tax, 10 times after tax, 700,000. And once the kids were born, he would want to have Kevin, Kate, and Randall more than likely with $100,000 apiece. The total amount needed would be 1.25 million minus his work coverage for 368. So we would look for around 875, or just round up to 900,000 in coverage. For Rebecca, she would also, if she passed away, she would want everything covered. The house, the debt, the funeral, and more than likely $100,000 a pop to raise the kids. So for her, would go with around 545,000. As far as I can tell, neither one of them had any health issues. I think Jack suffered from PTSD after the war and self-medicated with alcohol, but I don't think he was ever diagnosed. I know he went to rehab, but I don't think there's any medications or official rehab. I think it was more of an AA thing. So I would say they were both preferred plus. And pulling up the quotes here. For Jack, $900,000 at his age, which was, I believe, 36 when the kids were born, would be 30 years for $59.23. 20-year term would be $32.34. For Rebecca, a 30-year term would have been $26.33, and a 20-year term would be $16.64, and that would have been for $550,000 worth of coverage for Rebecca.